so, and it is so, and it is done. Great morning. Great morning. Great morning. Hold on, I need to do this right now expeditiously. Great morning. Great morning. Great morning. Great people. Welcome to the message, y'all. Welcome to the message. Hold on, y'all. I got to do something. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling good. Happy Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday. We in this thing. Hold on. I got to get my chat opened up. I ain't even have a chat. Good morning, y'all. I hope you're feeling good. Happy Thursday. We in this thing. It's still Thursday. We are so happy, so grateful. We back in the studio today. We're back in the studio today. If you are new to the Kingdom Flow community, to the message, welcome. We're so happy and so grateful that you are here. And if you was an old T, but good T, welcome back. Y'all show the new people them what to do. Come in, like the live, share the love, share the Lord. Drop something in the chat that you're grateful for. Let's get in the flow of abundance. I hope y'all, I ain't even much check it. I hope the lighting ain't shining in my face, in my glasses too much. But we back in the studio. On yesterday, y'all, we went outside. We outside. We outside. So if you didn't, it wasn't a whole lot going on. It was just a step of obedience. And so, okay, I'm back in the studio. So we're gonna get into Leviticus 18 on today. How are y'all doing? How y'all feeling? I got something to share with y'all for those of you who didn't see the message on yesterday or hadn't seen anything on my social media. Man, y'all, today is a big day. Today is a big day. More to come on that. Good morning, Pam. Good morning. Pam is checking in on the YouTube side of the street. Pam says, I'm grateful for a new day. I'm grateful for a new day. Indeed and amen. Indeed and amen. Man, it's new beginnings happening, y'all. It's new beginnings happening. And so I'm grateful for that. Thank y'all for checking in on the message or with the message today. It's so much going on. Y'all ever felt like the Lord just doing a whole lot of stuff at one time? It's almost like y'all know we've been talking about, man, let me see if I can minimize this and pull this over. Hold on, y'all. Why I can't never wait a minute. I'm all in y'all grill. Hold on. Uno. Momento. Nim. Okay, let me see if I can do that. And then because I got to be on my iPad today when I got to do my shoppable. Okay, we in this thing. Okay, I'm back. Now I can see over here. Good morning, Kay. Good morning. Good morning. Blessings received in return, dearest one. Okay, I'm back. Listen, you ever felt like the Lord was just doing a whole lot at one time? I'm talking like a whole lot. Like you be 1 minute you be in the waiting room and you be waiting on the Lord to do stuff, and then the next minute he just start doing all kind of stuff. That's kind of how I feel. Where we've been talking about these pivots. I promise y'all, the Lord said, go that way. I say, huh? I say, what you say, Lord? Because who? For what? For why? But we got to be obedient. Anyway, that kind of happened for me this week. Something that I didn't know was gonna happen. And so the Lord is in this season where he's like, hey, go this way. Okay, you got to go this way. I know what you had thought, but I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. It's been Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 for me. It's Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 for me this whole week, y'all. And so the Lord had been talking about plans and stuff, and now we still talking about plans. So some of y'all, I got to move it, don't it? Let me put that down. Y'all sip y'all favorite adult beverage. Let me move my mouse out the way, y'all, so I can make sure I can see stuff. Okay, I'm back. Man, the plan changes is real, but we receive it, Lord. We receive the Lord's plan for our life. We finna get into Leviticus 18. I thought we was gonna do it on yesterday, y'all, but it was just too much going on. It was a new adventure. We was outside on yesterday. We gonna be outside some, but I had to go and do some testing to just kind of see how it's gonna go. And we gonna keep moving forward with the message Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. But there may just be something additional that we're going to do. As the Lord continues to give us new beginnings. Okay, new beginnings. Yesterday we was on assignment, right? We was outside in the streets. Okay, we was outside in them community streets, okay, for Kingdom Travels. And so we're going to be continuing to do that. We're going to have some outside experiences. Shout out to Provision Cafe and Coffee Shop in downtown Fairhope, y'all. I had such a great experience there. Shout out to the manager Chris, as well as Isla, one of the people that worked there. She was so helpful for me yesterday. This is finna teach me some editing. You know, the Lord be telling you, you got to learn some skills and stuff. I done went all this time. I had met, well, why I got to start? Why you send me? So who want to edit? Somebody edit anyway? I'm back. One of them skills that I'm gonna have to go ahead and learn. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning. Good morning, Jared. Good morning, y'all. Y'all come in, like the live, share the love. I got a busy morning, y'all. But man, I tell you, the Lord he'll give you a moment. He'll give you a pause where, good morning, T Black. Good morning, honey. He'll give you a pause where, before we do anything else, can we just, true story, give God the glory this morning? You ever have them moments where you can really just look back and say, man, God has brought me so far? Just drop this. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. On yesterday, y'all, I ended up finding some water, y'all, to go sit by like a whole. I'm going today actually to go walk. Um, but I ended up kind of doing a little bit of exploring on yesterday, and I found somewhere to go walk. It's by the water, it's got a pier. And I was sitting there and I had a moment where I was reminded, I recorded this and I'm gonna try to post the video, but I was reminded of when I was homeless, y'all, the 2.5 years that I lived in my car. And this was up until last year, right? The place that I found yesterday would have been it was like the kind of place that I would have went and spent my days at, right? Wake up in the morning and go sit, and basically just a really peaceful place somewhere that had good service so I'd be able to record. It's the kind of place that I would have gone to when I was homeless, that I was constantly looking for, to be able to just have somewhere to be for the day. You know what I'm saying? And so I had a moment when I was sitting by the water yesterday where I was just like, man, thank you, Lord, because the difference between then and now, right? And so sometimes the Lord will just give you those moments where you can just really be like, man, this would have been perfect for me when I was in that wilderness season. But then the Lord makes something perfect in the season that you're in. Does that make sense? Anyway, I hope that makes sense to somebody. That's why you got to tell the Lord thank you. Message. You got to tell the Lord thank you, right? Okay, I'm about to say, wait a minute, what was that, Lord? Let's get into Leviticus 18, y'all. I do have quite a bit of notes that we got to go over, and then so we're gonna get the Bible clarity, then we're gonna get the kingdom clarity, get some cards and see what's going on with that. Something I did learn on Kingdom Travels yesterday, man. I ain't trying to be toting all this stuff. First of all, my battery on my computer only gonna get by a good hour. Right, about an hour without actually having a power source. Good morning, Monica. Good morning, honey Wunny. Without having a good power source. It was a little loud there yesterday, and then it's that downside, y'all, of not having the internet the way I need the internet to make sure that I'm doing this. And so Kingdom Travels may end up just being the second show that the Lord is allowing me to produce. And so y'all stay tuned for that. I got some other destinations coming up. We're gonna be traveling here shortly. So while I still have the opportunity to do so, I'll tell y'all about that in a second if you didn't hear that news on the other day. Let's get into Leviticus 18. Here we go. Thank you so much for the follow, T Black. I appreciate you, dearest one. Leviticus 18. Drop this in the chat. I'm different. First things first. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. Pull up to the scene with my not that one. Trapped out tarot. Not today though, right? I'm different. And so as I was going, that was the first thing that the Lord told me when I was studying out Leviticus 18, y'all, is we are a different people. Okay. We different. We got to be different, especially as the Lord is sending us into new territories, as he's giving us new things and new beginnings, new places to explore even. So this, the next thing you got to have some understanding about. The kingdom is your standard. What you say, I said, the kingdom is your standard. So, in a couple of different ways, the Lord has been showing me that we're not lowering, thank y'all, lowering our standards, right? We ain't gonna be able to do it. For many of us, the Lord has may have taken you through a season where he has had to make you stand on what you stand on, knowing who you are. This we're going to be talking a lot once again about identity on today. Because it's like, this is why the Lord said you got to, even last week, y'all, the Lord kept on talking about, like, you got to know who you are. You got to stand on your gifts. You don't be ashamed of what the Lord has given you, how he's blessed you, how he means you to stand out, be authentic, be unique, right? Look, my nose started itching. And so thank you for the gifts, dearest one. Thank you for reposting the live. So a lot of what the reason that the Lord has been talking about your identity is because of two things. And this is what I got out of Leviticus 18. Number one, the kingdom is your standard. And so we're not lowering our standards, right? The Lord will set you apart so that you are very clear about who you are, whose you are, what you stand for, okay? And the lifestyle that you want to live. He teaches us all of those things. He'll get your character together, your integrity together. Make sure that you're ready, because you realize that we coming up on Canaan, okay? Now, we know we in the kingdom, but we understand that the promised land is kingdom life. Does that make sense? So we then left Egypt, right? Moses then brought us out. We did that in Exodus. Moses then brought us out. So now the Lord is teaching us right now how to live in the promise. Does that make sense? That's all. That's what all of this is about. He's like, hey, this is the kingdom that I'm putting you in, but it's some stuff in the kingdom, the world, if you will, that you got to be aware of before you get there. And I got to make sure that you good with who I've created you to be before you get there to the promised land. I hope that makes sense. So as the Lord was explaining that to me, I say, okay, Lord, that makes sense. He's teaching us how to live in the land before we get to the land. Okay, before we get to the promise, let me go ahead and teach you how to live in the land. Because when you get there, it's going to be some folks, it's going to be some temptations, it's going to be some things that I'm making you aware of now, so that when you encounter it, you already know who you are. Okay. So the first word I heard I heard was lifestyle. Y'all know I'm foolish. So I start singing. I didn't did it lifestyle, because that's really how I sang the song. I don't know the words to that song. It came straight from the bottom to the top. My lifestyle. That's it. I don't know nothing else. Lifestyle. The Lord will set you apart, give you a whole different life. So you know what and for many of us, what he'll do is he'll give us he'll start giving us some kingdom experiences, right? He'll start showing you the life that he's giving you. And I think we talked about this, where it's like you'll get a preview, right? Good morning, Marianne. Good morning. Where he'll give you a preview of some stuff. I told y'all about that a couple weeks ago. Maybe it's just me. Like the Lord will show you, he's just like, hey, you finna come into something good, my G. So I want to make sure that you're good. So you get there, right? So he'll show us the type of life that he wants us to live. He'll start to give us experiences that align with that lifestyle as well. So here go the Lord. Don't imitate Egypt, the culture they came out of. They were surrounded by culture and different ways of thinking, worshiping hundreds of gods, magic, divination, idol worship, rituals, fertility, all the things that they was doing in Egypt. Of course, we know Leviticus 18 speaks a lot about sexual practices and all of that. Not sexual chocolate, sexual practices and things, right? Good morning, Melvina. Good morning. And so the Lord, so of course we have to deal with morality. And I wrote this. I say, let me just say something right now. What's right or wrong for me may not be right or wrong for somebody else. So I'm gonna let God handle it. It ain't my issue. And the reason I was saying that to the Lord, because some people like what they like. Listen, who am I to judge? I'm not gonna say I ain't did some stuff. I done did some stuff in my life when I was outside. Baby, I was outside for real. Said it, meant it. Okay. So it's an understanding, y'all, that wait a minute, not Siri Siri, why you not Siri was trying to record me. Hold on, girl. Wait a minute now. That's evidence. Hold on. Hey, I'm back. It ain't for me to judge, okay? It's not for me to judge how somebody chooses to live their life. We're only responsible for what we're responsible for, which is us, right? So I say, baby, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But the Lord was speaking to me in the terms of you hear they're like, people be practicing sex magic for real, y'all. Like, sex is a sacred act. Which part? That's why you can't let everybody get these credentials. That's why for some of us, the Lord will make you sit down on them because you understand that's a transference of energy, huh? What you say, a transference energy. Some of it, man, look, is that too much to talk about? It's a sexual conversation on today, not like that. But you got to understand that's why you got to be careful who you sleeping with, right? Because sometimes I say we, maybe I'm talking about what you seen Siri, child. She had got beside herself. Wait a minute, let me don't say her name no more. Okay. And so let me just tell y'all, like, I'm not finna hold you. Baby, I done slept with some folks who should have never got these credentials, baby, but I didn't have the value and self-worth that I have now. Now being celibate, it's a whole different thing, right? But baby, listen, wait a minute. Child, wait a minute. So whatever she's trying to broadcast is falling on deaf ears. Baby, clearly not, because you here. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning, Black Beauty. Good morning. So let me just say, you got to be careful, men and women, okay, of who you giving your credentials to. Because some folks, first of all, they may not deserve it. Second of all, you got to know you got to have some standards. Remember, the kingdom is a standard, so we standing on that, right? And yes, some people be doing some off the wall stuff, honey, where it's sex magic. It's a real thing. If you know, you know. Okay. Renewing their minds, they had spent centuries thinking they were slaves. Drop this in the chat. I'm free. I'm free. Good and free. Good and free. Okay. So for many of us, what we're actually, it's like understanding, y'all, there's so many things that the Lord has set us free from, right? There are so many things. If you just think about like who you used to be, again, it's one of them. Thank God for God, because we used to be so different. Experiences that we've gone through and just things that we've done, y'all. Thank God for growth. So because of the fact we are no longer not, I don't even know what that movie is. I just heard a movie. Because we truly are free, there are things that we did in our old life. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, y'all. That we can't take into our promise. Does that make sense? There are things that it's people, how we used to be, the way we used to operate, the mindset, whatever it is for you. Okay, we can't take that into Canaan. We don't want to take Egypt into Canaan. Does that make sense? So I stopped in the middle of this and was just started talking to the Lord about Egypt, right? And so and went and did some research and just looking up different things. And so I say, well, Lord, what types of things specifically would you say not taking Egypt into Canaan? And these are some examples. Depending on Pharaoh instead of depending on God, right? Like drop that in the chat. I know my source. Right? So depending on Pharaoh instead of God, living by Egypt's systems instead of by God's authority. Does that make sense? So these are transitions that most of us, a lot of us, not everybody, because some people still sleep, right? We have transitioned. It's just like, no, I ain't got to worry about that. And the Lord gave me an example of this, right? In what's currently happening in my life, y'all. And when I tell y'all I be walking out the word, I be walking out the word. Go ahead and talk. Okay, so let me just share this, right? So check this out. Good morning, Miss Succulent. Good morning, Bonnie. Good morning, y'all. So, for those of you who have not been on the live or who hadn't heard this already, y'all know that I reapplied. Look, good morning, Miss Chris. Good morning. Y'all know that I reapplied to practice nursing again. I told y'all that last month, but in the meaning in between time, quit my job working as a CNA because that was part of what I had to do for restoration. I quit my job as a CNA back at June 26th and have only been going to school full time, right? So Monday, I ended up finding out that the Board of Nursing is allowing me to be reinstated, right? When I say, can we just one time for the one time say God is good, right? This is the difference between Egypt. My God, you just don't never be knowing the difference between Egypt and Canaan. Okay. So Monday, I find out that the board says that I can be reinstated, right? But in order to be reinstated, now I done already paid $750. Okay. I had to pay $750 just to apply to see if they was gonna grant it. So Egypt and Canaan. So these folks say, they say, yeah, you can get it. You can come back, but you got to pay $1,000 fine. Huh? You mean in addition to the 750? Huh? $1,000. I say, now mind you, I'm not working. Okay. And remember, we talking about Egypt and Canaan. Okay. So me back in Egypt, first thing I would have did was go try to figure it out. Lord, I got to pay that. They going if I don't pay this $1,000, Lord, because the folks say you got 30 days to pay the $1,000. And they don't care if you ain't got no job or not. That's not their problem. This what you got to do. You got to pay this $1,000 in these 30 days. And if you don't, you're going to be subject to further disciplinary action, which basically would mean that your license, you can't get the reinstatement that we just told you that you can get, right? They say you got to keep doing, you got to do this drug testing, and I don't care nothing about it. Ain't no money, ain't no job. That's how you do it, is how you do it, right? Back in the gap, first thing I would have did, y'all, is get nervous, get scared, start, trying to spazzing out, crashing out. Oh gosh, what Lord, where am I gonna get $1,000 from? I'm budgeting, stewarding the blessings you've given me to try to just get up until right. I'm in full manna mode. Do you understand? I'm in full manna mode right now. Lord, I don't know how you gonna pay the rent, but thank you, Lord, for paying it. Lord, I don't know how the bill's gonna get paid, but thank you, Lord. I know it's done in advance. But see, Egypt, me would have said, let me go figure out what I'm gonna do. But Canaan, promised land, kingdom, come on, kingdom, me says, Lord, how you gonna pay this money? Lord, what you gonna do? Cause who? Huh? Because one thing the Lord told me, I say, Lord, you ain't bring me this far to bring me this far. Does that make sense? Man, I hope this, please let this be an example to somebody. God didn't bring you this far to bring you this far. So if he didn't made a way, y'all wouldn't even believe the way the Lord that made the way for me to get these credentials back. test that I had I was finna, I was like, well, Lord, I'm gonna have to come up with $3,500 to get this psychological evaluation. How I'm gonna pay for this? How me? But then when you switch to kingdom life, how you gonna pay for it, Lord? Because I ain't got it. You know what's in my checking account. What to do? Egypt and Canaan. Does that make sense to somebody? I can't make this up. I literally was just, when I was reading the think it's a game. When I was reading said paperwork, when I got to, let me tell y'all what section it's in, to section 4, that says respondent shall pay a fine in the amount of $1,000. This fine must be paid within 30 days of the effective date of respondent's reinstatement. Listen now, respondent understands that failure to pay the fine is cause for additional disciplinary action, and the fine is due regardless of whether respondent is employed in nursing. I skipped right on past it. I said, oh, ordinarily, because for those of you who don't know this part, not being able to pay the fine was what got me messed up the first time. And then it was $600, right? So I say, well, I read it. I say, Lord, well, show me what to do. Egypt, Canaan. Egypt is, how am I going to do it? Canaan, promise. Kingdom is, God, how are you going to do it? Drop that in the chat. God, how you going to do it? How you going to do it? Because it takes the responsibility and the burden off of you. And it says, Lord, you said this is the promise. This is the direction and the path that you put me on. How you going to do it? I hope that makes sense to somebody. That's the difference between Egypt's systems and the kingdom systems, right? God taught them a whole new way to think. Okay. You are not slaves, nor do we depend on anyone or anything outside of God. Okay. We don't imitate Canaan either. Because where you going, you gonna have some temptations there as well. You gonna have some folks that's gonna try to, number one, make you feel like you still in Egypt. Number two, try to make you, because you know you going in there as a kingdom citizen. The Lord sending you into a new beginning, a new place, a new territory, and this why He had us set apart in the first place, right? So we could become a reflection of the kingdom. Does that make sense? When people see you, they want to know, oh, they different. They ain't like us. They not like us. For real. It gets to a point where, because of the way that you talk, because of the way that you move, the way that you act, not even, you don't even got to look no different. But when somebody, it's the way you present yourself, they gonna know. It's just like, oh, wait a minute. They ain't even on that type of time. Ain't. So this is why the Lord will set you apart, get you all the way together, so that when He sends you, because it's very easy, y'all, and I think we finna talk about this as well. Imitation. It's so easy for the enemy to come in. I'm guilty of this. My God, I am. It's so easy to start imitating the surroundings or the environments that the Lord places you in. Man, I hope that makes sense to somebody. So don't take Egypt into Canaan. Remember that it's almost like the way the Lord showed it to me was, in between Egypt and Canaan is the kingdom. Does that make sense? It's like the Lord introduces us. He brings you out of Egypt and introduces you to the kingdom, and then He sends you into Canaan. Man, I hope that makes sense to somebody. That makes sense to me. Anyway, I'm back. You're not your past. Don't go backwards or simply adopt the next culture. Now we speaking to Canaan, right? Don't go imitating Canaan either. You're not your past, and don't let your future disciple you either. We are Christ's disciples. Be discipled by Christ. If you've been the disciple of Christ, be the disciple of Christ, even when you get to Canaan, right? Egypt is your old identity, your old habits, your old fears, the old survival mindset, the way the world taught you to think. Canaan represents the culture you're living now, kingdom life. Drop that in the chat. Kingdom life, okay? Society values, popular trends, popular opinion, whatever everyone else is doing. These are the kinds of things you're going to deal with in Canaan. And neither one is your standard. The kingdom is your standard. Okay? That's why the Lord named this. The kingdom is your standard, not Egypt, not Canaan, kingdom. Then he gave me Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is why this a day. This kingdom life has to be the daily life. This is why you got to seek it every single day. Because again, wherever the Lord is sending you, whatever he's sending you into, is very easy to begin to imitate that culture, right? The God standard. Holiness affects every area of your life, even the private parts. That speaks to the sexual immorality. And again, who am I to judge? I got to leave that up to the Lord. Good morning, KFK. Good morning, honey. Identity before increase. This why the Lord will show you who you are. You got to be firm in that. Crazy thing about it was when I went to provision, for those of you who didn't see yesterday's message or when we was outside, the place that the Lord sent me to was called Provision, y'all. I'm not making it up. Shout out to Provision Cafe and Coffee Shop in Fairhope. Okay. That is the place that the Lord sent me to on yesterday. Man, look, I can't, y'all. So the Lord, before you go where the Lord is sending you, you got to know who you are, because you're going to encounter temptations in Canaan too. Okay. Identity before increase. You got to know who you are. You have to behave like you belong to God. We're not carrying Egypt into Canaan. Don't do what they did and don't do what they do. You got to be who God has created you to be in that in between space. From freedom from Egypt, I'm bringing you out, but I'm sending you in. So in that wilderness, come on, Lord, in that wilderness, that's when you find out who you are for real. Okay. Deliverance doesn't automatically erase old habits. It doesn't. We think just because the Lord delivered us from and brought us out of Egypt, that don't mean he brought Egypt out of you. That is a process, one that we got to work on every day, right? So just because the Lord brought you out don't mean that it's not. Look, what they say, you can take the girl out the country, but not the country out the girl, something like that. Well, that's a true story because I'm country. Anyway, I'm back. Deliverance don't just mean like, oh yeah, no, it's a daily process of renewing that has to happen when the Lord delivers us, right? Kingdom culture, kingdom laws, kingdom customs, kingdom traditions. What does my king require of me? Okay. There's protection in this, a covenant protection. This is protected not only you, it's protecting your family, generations, identity. God prohibits what he wants to preserve. And if you already know that you're the chosen one, that the Lord chose you for this, drop that in the chat. God chose me. He chose you on purpose because there are blessings, there is freedom, there are things that are attached to other people because of you, if that makes sense. The enemy rarely begins with outright rebellion. You ever thought about how it's almost like stuff try to sneak up on you? And if you don't, this is why we be over here exposing the tactics of the enemy, because if you ain't careful, you'll be started imitating stuff and you ain't even know it. This is why I'm very transparent with y'all. I'll be like, man, it was so subtle. I ain't even much realize I was doing it, because that is how the enemy works. We're past the blatant, let me just point outright, just boom, put something in your face. He know he can't get you like that, right? So he'll do little subtle things. And I can tell y'all the latest example of this that the Lord gave me. I hadn't been, when I was in the car, y'all, I didn't have a lot of money to eat sweets or anything like that. Child, I done gained 2 pounds because I got one thing that I ain't put down in about a month. And I eat it almost every day. And I told the Lord today, I say, Lord, I think it's time for me to stop eating this, because I had to really just sit back and think. And I say, every time I go to the store, I said, I buy this one particular thing. It's so good, but it's so good. But I got to put it down because I got on the scale and I said, wait a minute, 2 pounds. What? Wait a minute now. No. And the Lord had it. And then on top of that, coming out of a season where it was just like I was so busy, I wasn't moving the same way. I wasn't at work, so I wasn't getting that activity in. I say, oh no. So side note, Faith and Flow for Finances, people them movement, because we got the flow. We got to get back in the flow. Good morning, Chris Curls. Good morning. So it's little things like that where the enemy make you compromise. What you say? I said, where the enemy will make you compromise, where you hadn't previously been compromising. And if you was on here the other day, Monday, I think Tuesday, I told y'all, I met the manager, and I didn't tell y'all who it was, but I met the manager at Provision, and he said, and right then he was like, I don't know why this is coming to me. He was like, but I heard the word compromise. And he said, and he was like, he didn't even say it in a bad way, but it sat with me all day, y'all. Like I was literally like, dang. I was like, Lord, but because I couldn't get, and then it's like over the past few days, the Lord started showing me a couple things. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started to see where I have been compromising standards, things that I had already put down, that I hadn't had to deal with before, right? So I hope that made, or that I had chosen not to do, but then all of a sudden now I'm back doing stuff that, child, what? No, I ain't gonna be able to do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it. So it's those subtle things that the enemy will do, y'all, to make you compromise your standards and what you've already told the Lord. Like, no, I ain't even on that. Hence me taking my ass to go walk today. You understand me? I'm talking about expeditiously. I got a call at 9. I got an appointment I got to go to probably about 10, and I'm gonna be outside walking. Cause no, don't compromise, okay? You are meant to influence culture, not absorb it. Okay. You are meant to influence culture, not absorb it. So be mindful of that. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Honey Wunny. So the land itself the land itself responds to righteousness. And everywhere you step your foot on, baby, you own it. The Lord say wherever he getting ready to send you, this new territory that he's giving you to go take over, whenever your footsteps on it, walk in there, and it's like every footstep is taking territory for the kingdom. I hope that makes sense. The land itself, the land he is sending you into, represents righteousness. Everywhere your foot touches, decree and declare that this land now belongs to the kingdom of God. Our choices have consequences beyond ourselves. The kingdom transforms your heart first. We know it's an inside out job. The kingdom isn't about escaping something. It's about becoming someone who has the capacity to hold what God is trying to give you. When your identity is rooted in the king, your lifestyle begins to reflect his kingdom. And that's the whole goal, right? Because then you have the ability to influence others to see what the kingdom life is all about. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. We want to inspire other people to be like, wait a minute now, they might be on to something. Because how many if you look at the people surrounding you, I said this to the Lord over the weekend. If you look at all the folks that surround you, everybody got something going on. People lost. So that's why the Great Commission is sending us out to be disciples, so we can say like, hey, I found an answer. I hope that makes sense. When identity is settled, obedience becomes the natural fruit. The more obedient you become, the easier it becomes. Sometimes you be like, man, do I have to? But it ain't even no hesitation in doing it. I hope that makes sense. In the beginning, when the Lord, I think my biggest step of obedience was, okay, I was willing to be homeless in order to be obedient, right? But now obedience is just like, okay, Lord, I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna do it. You may have a little bit to say, but you know what, I'm gonna do it. But when you look at the things that you've been obedient about, right? The obedience you've had, man, look at how the Lord will bless your obedience. This is again, y'all, this is 9 years, almost 10 years, including moving back home to the last place I wanted to be. But now here we are, 9 years after the Lord, after I lost my license, here's the Lord restoring it. But man, come on, this is why the Job season is so important. But do you also understand that not only, man, which part about, let me just say this to somebody. Sometimes the Lord got to strip that old identity all the time, so you really know who you are for real. You do realize that had the Lord not taken my life, I lost it. But had he not taken it from me, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to y'all about none of this right now, because I still would have been only Latoya the nurse. That was my whole identity, instead of Touche Germaine. And all this process, he stripped the identity, stripped me of everything, stripped my name, changed my name. He's done all of this. So now that he's restoring it, not only is he giving that back, he's also giving me businesses. He's given me companies to run. He's given me the ability to come up here and give this message every day. So when the Lord say he gonna give you back more than what you lost, this what he mean. Because once you realize that you're more than that, I'm more than just a nurse, you actually become more than that old identity. Does that make sense? That's why the Lord say sometimes you got to lose yourself to find yourself. Because if you don't lose yourself, you'll never truly know who you are. I hope that makes sense. Salvation gets us out of slavery. Discipleship gets slavery out of us. The kingdom of God is the standard. It is determined by the king. Before you receive the promise, God shapes you into the kind of person you need to be to receive it. Holiness creates healthy boundaries. The boundaries, this what I'm gonna do and this what I ain't gonna do, is the protection. Boundaries aren't prisons, they're only prisons. Boundaries are only prisons to the enemy, right? Because like I told y'all, it's stipulations with this. Yeah, we'll let you get the license back, but you got to pay this money. Yeah, we'll let you get the license back, but you got to do this, that, and the third for 3 years. 3 years, 36 months. Okay. There are boundaries. There are certain things that the Lord is saying, yeah, it's consequences to your actions, right? Our choices have consequences. So understand that you messed it up the first time, I'll give it back, but this time you're going to have to work a little harder to keep it. Does that make sense? I hope. It was hard enough going to nursing school, but now I ain't got to go back to nursing school. So just know the Lord will give. But he's like, you're gonna have to really show me. Listen, you got to really want it. I hope that makes sense. There's temptation waiting for you in your future too. So do your best to avoid it. The Lord will try to prepare you for it. Like, listen now, trying to told you now. Don't think you finna just get there and ain't finna be nothing. That's just everything gonna be all sunshine and rainbows. Ain't. Don't return to your old life and don't compromise what's ahead. One of Satan's greatest strategies is mixture, which is not completely abandoning God, but adding enough worldly thinking that the differences disappear. I hope that makes sense. Don't blend in, reflect the kingdom. External obedience without inward transformation becomes religion. Rules, regulations, and we ain't on that. Okay. Kingdom transformation begins from the inside out. And when we walk in righteousness, we become a blessing to those around us. Okay. Blessed to be a blessing And that's it for Leviticus 18. That's what the Lord had gave me. We finna get into the kingdom clarity for this morning. Y'all like the live, share the love. Couple of things before. Thank you for sharing the live, Renz. I appreciate you. Message. Couple of things to share before we get into the cards for this morning. I think I put them up. I probably did. Where did I put them at, y'all? Man, y'all, the Lord is showing out. The Lord is showing out. He ended up, if you didn't watch the Virgo message that I put out the other day, make sure that you watch that. It was the last, not the newest ones. It was the oldest, the older. Well, no, because I just started the new set today. The Lord is showing out. Okay. So, a couple of things the Lord gave me before we get ready to get into the cards for this morning. The Queen of Cups. Let me just tell somebody, y'all, Granny Nims. If your Granny Nims, this is plural, maybe 2 to 3. For me, it was 2. Your grannies and your pawpaw showing out. If you want to know who helping you through this next season of your life, disclaimer, look a little religiosity, people, them. Don't come over here with that. We ain't on that. This morning, y'all, cannot make it up. Both of the grannies came out. This is my children's grandmother. Hey, Granny, love you. And this is my grandmama's card in the tarot, right? And so then when I ended up putting the cards sitting down right there, I was like, okay, y'all. I looked at the numbers and it comes up to 317. And then that's my pawpaw. I say, oh, so the grandparents and the spirituals making some. I was finna cut. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard the cuss word of my spirituals. I'm trying to do right on today. I got 3. I'm going to save them. I might need them. They showing out. They helping some stuff come together. Okay. They said that was important for me to told y'all on this morning. So I'm toting you. The number 1233 came up this morning. Luke 10 and 9 as well. The number 9111, which led to Psalms 9111, because they were on my phone. Are y'all still on there? Let me see. Oh no, it's gone now. On my phone right now is the number 143. Also, what is this? 1 Peter 5 and 7. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Then we also have 1 Corinthians 15:50. This on my phone right now. Deuteronomy 10:12. And then the number 317. So go back in your journal to March 17th. It may be something important on that day for you. Okay. So let's do it. Let's get to it. Let's see what else Lord want to talk about. Let's see what we got. I shuffled. No, I didn't shuffle today because I shuffled these. So yeah, let me just do a little quick spirit shuffle, and then we're going to see what else the Lord wants to give us on today. Because, baby, when I tell you the Lord showing out, it's the show out season. All I do it. Here we go, y'all. Boom. The keys. I am the key that unlocks the door to my success. Okay. So thank you for the gifts, dearest one. So for many of us, there may be a door that's opening. We've been talking about the keys. We've been talking about new beginnings. We've been talking about all of this. And this is also there. The Lord may be giving you some revelation on how you're going to move forward. Like, drop that in the chat. What's next, Lord? What's next? I don't know. I don't know what door you've been trying to open, but it feels like it's going to be successful. Whatever this is, whatever the Lord has been calling you to do, it's going to be a success. We receive that, Lord. Y'all need to make sure y'all get this because y'all gonna need it. Y'all need to get this kettlebell from the TikTok shop. Anyway, what's next, right? The Lord finished. I told you, been telling y'all, the Lord finished show you the door he wants you to walk through. Okay. We have a 3 of Cups that's coming in next. This is collaboration, of course. This is a soul tribe, kindred spirits, good company as well. This is people, man. You finna, and it just may be, thank y'all. It just may be that this door that's getting ready to open. You know, sometimes it's a blessing when you have somebody that will just open the door for you. Does that make sense? And some of y'all, and I'll say us, you may be that person that has always been the resource or the person who was able to open a door for somebody else. And it feels like the Lord it's like you finna get that same blessing in return, right? Where the Lord is going to put people in your life that will be able to open doors for you. because a lot of us, we didn't been, maybe you didn't been like what y'all just called it. Um, what is the word? A reference. It's almost like good word of mouth. You didn't, maybe you've always been that person that people could be like, hey, can I use you as a reference because you have good character or something like that? But it's like somebody, you actually being able to call somebody else and say, hey, can you vouch for me? And then, and for some of you, if you thank y'all, it's like you ain't even gonna have to say nothing. The Lord's gonna it's like he's gonna recommend you, like him whispering your name to somebody that's actually going to be able to open a door for you. I hope that makes sense. What else, Lord? 18:10. The name of the Lord is a strong fortress. The godly run to him and are safe. Drop it in the chat. I'm safe. Something the Lord was talking to me about over the last few days. And I want to encourage somebody because, people get wrapped up in all this monitoring spirit stuff and who can block your blessings and all this, that, and the third. And y'all know over here, we don't give the enemy any power, right? And I don't know why this is coming out right now, but let me just tell somebody. One thing, people, and I kind of mentioned it on yesterday's message when I was outside. What God has for you is for you. Do you understand that there were now, mind you, I need to be very clear about this. You will go through a season, man, I just got to chill, where the Lord will tell you to keep your mouth shut. Don't say nothing. Don't tell nobody your plans. Just let things unfold. Why? Because in that time, and this is a lesson that I had to learn, in that time, it's not about somebody else being able to delay. It's about you learning not to delay yourself. Does that make sense? It's like if you start, it's almost like if you go and tell somebody that you're trying to do something, them speaking death into your destiny, and they'll start like that's how the enemy will influence, like he'll make you start doubting the promise. So I've learned that the move in silent seasons are not because anybody can stop what God is doing, because who can stop God? Does that make sense to some? Did I say that right? Who can stop God? If God gets what God wants, period. Like it ain't no if, ands, and buts about it. But if you start telling folks what you got going on, they'll start trying to discourage you from doing what God told you to do. That's why sometimes you got to keep your moves to yourself. You got to, because you'll be all the way for something like, oh yeah, oh let's do it, Lord. Yeah, let get it. And then you go tell somebody, and because they stuck, they want you to stay stuck. So they'll start, because they ain't living in the kingdom, they'll try to get you to stay in Egypt. Does that make sense? They'll try to keep you where they at because they don't want to see you get further than they done got. This why you got to, it's like you have to start, when you start understanding, like, okay, God, I know what you said, so let me start moving and doing what you told me. Can't nobody stop God. So it's not about somebody being able to block your blessings, because who can stop God? It's about you staying focused, keep it to yourself. And then when the Lord says you can reveal it, then reveal it. Because then you hadn't created unnecessary delays. I am a believer that we create the delays. Do you understand that I don't care how much anybody try to send negative energy, bad juju, you try to speak against the blessing? Do you understand that could nobody stop this move of God? Nobody. Because this is what God said he wanted, period. So that's why you can't believe, man, I don't care nothing about no spells. Spell God, God. Because when you send something to me, God is gonna say, no, that not that one. Why? The shield. I'm protected. Can you drop that in the chat? That's why the grandparents them showing up today. I don't care what kind of spell work, magic, witchcraft, hoodoo, voodoo. I don't give a damn. Did it work though? Huh? Because if you believed it worked, then it worked. When you know it can't, because no weapon formed against you shall prosper, you just keep moving with God. You just keep moving. Stuff only works against you if you give it the power to. Does that make sense? That's how the enemy influences. Man, I hope that makes sense. This is Proverbs 18:10. God is a safe refuge in difficult times. This is protection, security, faith, and suddenly. Come on, suddenly. We receive it, Lord. I'm telling you right now, like, man, the Lord finna do something. And everybody else gonna think it happened overnight, but you be like, man, I've been over here working this work. I've been over here doing, baby. What? You ain't even much got no idea how much I've been over here working the work. Man, look, trying to tell somebody it's a suddenly season. Man, come on, Lord. What else? Now look at the protection. You play with the Lord if you want to. You see, guess what? Archangel Michael, who is like God, angel of protection. What you had said, the angel of protection, truth, integrity, justice, courage, and strength. Here you go. Here, how you fight? How you fight back? The word. I ain't, because we don't. I don't fight. I'm cute. What? I pray. I don't fight. This how you fight, right here. You know the word for yourself. This what the word has. The Bible. What? Because when you start reading it, you start living it. You always got a weapon. Does that make sense? I hope I said that right. You ain't got to fight. This is my fight, man. You ain't got to. I'm talking about a two. Look at the sword. Two-edged sword. The shield and the sword. Anyway, baby, the protection is real, hunted. What else, Lord? Don't show out on a Thursday now. I feel like y'all on some show out. Two of Wands, okay? For planning, first steps, progress, patience, confidence, courage, taking action. Y'all better take these steps. We've been talking about this for 2 weeks. You ain't got to tell us what you did. Did somebody take a step? Y'all know I had to go out yesterday. The Lord told me to go outside. I had to go out yesterday. I was in a part of town, but let me just tell you something. When I tell you the Lord is going to give you a preview on yesterday, child, I seen Gigi Touche 3 times on yesterday. She was outside, baby. Message. She was outside. Gigi had on her little gray dress. She had on her black dress. She had on her green dress. Lord had me in a part of town. And I was like, oh, I like it here. The Lord will start giving you a preview of the life that he wants you to have, of a kingdom life for real. Man, you better know this ain't the way where the Lord destined for you to stay. The Lord gonna start showing you what he desires for you to have. The desires of your heart. Psalm, what was that Psalm that we just had the other day? 37, 4-6. Anyway, you better start telling the Lord. And I went over there yesterday and I said, oh yeah. I say, oh yeah, this. I was like, we moving, Lord. when we packing up, because I was ready. He said, get ready. Drop it in the chat. Get ready. Here we go. Let's clarity. I am the key. Wish you a wish come true. It's a prayer come true. Your wish is being granted, but it may not come in the way that you expect. No worries. Message is just what you need. It's gonna come how you need it and not always like you want it. Okay. It's gonna come how you need it, not always how you want it. But when I say the Lord say, I'm gonna give you what I promised, that promise still stands for real. So I don't know, because I don't really feel, I don't wish, right? This is just a card. I don't wish. I pray. I sow a seed. Let me sow this kingdom seed. I did that on yesterday. I say, yeah, Lord, put me here. And one of the things that I've learned to do, y'all, is I say, Lord, yeah, I belong here. I sure do. I belong here. I belong in this environment. I belong in this level of peace. I said, oh, this is for me. And one of the things that has consistently worked for me, when I say, Lord, show me how to get there. Show me the steps. And all of a sudden, steps start showing up. I told the Lord over the weekend. So let me just briefly give this story again for those of you who didn't see this yesterday. I told the Lord on Sabbath Saturday, because y'all know I be Sabbathing, and I have a business meeting. I guess, well, I say a business meeting. I have a meeting with the Lord every Saturday to say, Lord, what we working on this week? On Saturday, I'm sitting there in prayer, just talking to the Lord, chilling, and I say, Daddy, I was like, I don't think I'm living the life that I want to live. And you know, the Lord just be listening. He lets you say what you need to want to say before he respond. I say, Dad, I ain't living the way I want to live. I said, I have dreams for what I want the message to be. I said, I have places that I want to go. And the Lord say, go. I say, huh? He said, go. Simple. I was like, well, Daddy, how am I? He said, if you want the message to be what the message is, he said, well, do what your mission is. You already know your mission is. Take the kingdom to the people and invite the people into the kingdom. I say, so you mean like go outside? He said, then you want to travel? And the way he made, and I say, well, Lord, he said, I didn't say nothing about no money. He said, go. So he sent me on assignment, y'all, and truestory.com. I was like, well, where can I go, Lord? Where can I go? And when I started Googling places, the second place on the list was called Provision. If you get the Kingdom Clarity newsletter, you already saw this because I posted the picture of it. But I'm going to show y'all because I was tripping because I was like, I got to be tripping. Surely it's not a place called Provision. Once again, can y'all see Provision? I say, huh. So I went. I didn't even look at the 100 North Section Street. If y'all are ever in downtown Fairhope, please go and visit Provision Cafe and Coffee Shop because that's where I was, right? So I went Monday, had me a little latte, and was just like, the Lord provided the spot. You tell the Lord you want something, and he'll be like, here you go. And did. So when the Lord say, when you start, you speak those things that are not as if and until they are. You better start opening your mouth. I don't really wish. I just say, hey, Lord, this is what I want to do. And he say, okay. And when he give the okay, I'm on the move. So yeah, we finna start doing kingdom travel. The message, kingdom travels. Okay. So it's not about wishful thinking. It's about prayerful thinking. I hope that makes sense to somebody. The Lord finna give you what you asked for. Why? Because he made you ready to receive it. I hope that makes sense. Don't give it to me till I'm ready, Lord. Don't give it to me until I have the capacity to hold it, right? Thinking of you, okay? Nostalgia, fond memories, text messages, because the Lord is always thinking of us. Sometimes when we be out here in the waiting room, y'all, it be feeling like the Lord then forgot. I recorded a video that said just that the other day. You ever felt like you was in the waiting room for so long and you feel like you just always in God's waiting room? And it's like the Lord remembering you. And I'm saying that to y'all again, because sometimes it feels like, and this is where, and again, this is where we have to be mindful, because the enemy will start showing you other people's success and other people getting the things that they've been praying for. But you don't know how long them folks been praying for that. You don't know how long them folks been struggling, dealing with stuff, waiting on the Lord. You don't know what kind of processing somebody had to go through for the Lord to make them ready to receive it. But the enemy will try to come in and show you somebody else getting something and have you thinking like, man, when is it going to be my turn? Be mindful. It's y'all, when I tell you the enemy be subtle, one thing that the Lord has taught me, man, when I see somebody winning, I'm celebrating their success. Because especially if it's people that I know that's right around me, because if you just got your turn, I got next. Drop it in the chat. I got next. This why you ain't got to be envious. I don't get mad when baby, please win. Please. Because if you winning and we standing in agreement, I got next. I got next. Lord, me, Daddy, thank you for blessing them. Thank you for blessing them. Man, I can't wait to see what you finna do in their life next. Why can I do that? Because if I'm attached to Monica and Monica's winning, or if Jared's winning, Sandy's winning, I know my time is coming. I ain't got to worry. Because I know I'm attached to some folks that got a little anointing, a little blessing on their life, a little favor surrounding them like a shield. Man, look, thank y'all. Thank y'all for taking them steps the Lord had told y'all to take. Because if you going up, oh, you ain't leaving me. I'm going to let me take my step. Because y'all ain't leaving me. Now, what, Lord, well, what I got to do? What? Hello? Daddy, you say what not? Man, you better get yourself around some folks that's trying to do something with themselves. They start, because all of a sudden you like, wait a minute, I ain't staying back here. Meant it. Doubting, okay? Unsure about something or someone, lack of trust, the choice being unclear, and sometimes you don't know. Right? Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you be like, man, Lord, is this what? Ain't that what we just talking about? The enemy try to come up, make you doubt them blessings. Baby, bye. You won't get me. It was a many a day, y'all, that I was sitting here over this last year. Do you realize it's only been a year? It's only been a year, y'all, that the Lord sent me back to Alabama and told me, go get this nursing license. A year. And it may have felt like a long year, but here we are, a year later. Sometimes all you got to do is commit your ways to the Lord, commit to the Lord, trust him to do it. Man, what? Baby, and all of a sudden now the thing you've been waiting on is just like, man, I can't even believe it's here. What else, Lord? You won't get me, and you won't get me like that. Also, this starseed energy. You got a mission, okay? Important mission in life, here to evolve spiritually. Y'all know this, the ancestors name. I tell y'all every time we get this card, and child, because this is what you were sent here to do, okay? This is what you were sent here to do. You got an assignment on your life. It's all about you choosing whether or not you gonna walk out this assignment. Baby, can't nobody do it but you. So what you gonna do, okay? Now, with that being said, thank the Lord for the folks that's coming in your life right now. You don't even much know where they coming from. Oh, I got to talk about that. Let me tell somebody this right now. And I'm gonna say this as respectfully, Nim, as I can say it. Don't think that these next blessings he ain't gonna be from the folks that you think is coming from. I can say this because I done been so blessed in my life, Lord. I'm so grateful. Them strangers. Thank y'all. The Lord finna send strangers. He ain't say the people that already know you. He ain't say strangers. You finna get some support. Not that kind. You finna get support from folks don't even much know you. Why? Because it's folks that's getting ready to, the Lord finna introduce you to folks, and they gonna believe in you more than the people right around you believe in you. You don't have to believe me if you don't want to, but I'm telling you right now, the Lord know the kind of support you need, and it ain't gonna come from the folks who you think it's going to come from. This is one of the hardest lessons when you first starting out. You be wanting them ride or die. You be wanting everybody that know you to be the ones to support you. And thank God for the people who have that kind of support system. But everybody ain't got it. Okay. But when I tell you the Lord will send some Jareds, some Sandys, some Kellys, strangers. Don't believe me? Watch what I tell you. You'll be down there in the pit, and they'll know you in the pit. And they ain't, huh? Do who? Oh, okay. Them to find the kind of folks the Lord finna come send in your life. These 3 of Cups people who really want you to do better in life. Now, mind you, when you come up, them same folks that ain't even had a good encourage. I ain't talking about money. I'm talking about they didn't even encourage the vision, the dream, the goal, the nothing. Oh, but watch when the Lord bless you. You gonna get a whole different them. Then they go, I knew you could do it. Oh yeah. But you ain't believe when I was in the pit because oh, okay. You thought I was just running some foolishness, some game. No, I know what the Lord said. The only thing that can limit your abundance is your inability to dream bigger. I promise we just had these cards. What is happening? Okay. The abundance is coming. And the Lord finna surround. Now, he not only is he finna bless you, now mind you gonna be a blessing to the folks who even doubted you. You understand that that's one of the things that the Lord will make you responsible for. Now, I'm not saying be foolish about it, but you realize that even the folks that didn't support you, their abundance is tied to you. I hope that makes sense. It's almost like sometimes you feel like you got the dream big enough for other people because they have the inability to dream bigger. Anyway, and it's almost like that's part of what it is because the Lord chose you for this and they don't have no understanding. And that doesn't make you completely responsible for them because they got their own walk to walk. But the people, a lot of times that you're doing it for, are going to give you the least support, but you about to be the biggest blessing that they've ever known. I hope that makes sense to somebody. It changes things. And don't let that make your heart like bitter. Thank y'all. Don't let your heart be bitter because you're going to be like, you don't even realize that what I'm doing so you can be better. That's why the Lord will get your heart together before the identity, because you have a big weight and a big responsibility on your shoulders. And part of that is going to be like, yeah, even blessing folks who didn't necessarily believe in you, right? Let me shuffle these real quick. And then here we go. I hope that makes sense. Because if somebody's feelings gonna be hurt because the folks who you thought was going to be supporting you don't be the ones. Anyway, that's part of your process, and you're gonna have to work through that. The Lord, because again, to come on, Pharaoh, just like he had to harden Pharaoh's heart. You think he won't do that to the folks around you? Best friends, family, whoever it is. He does that. Why? Because he has to strengthen you for it to be able to deal with it. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Message. Come on, 88 Lionsgate, 888. Abundance mindset in the divine flow, income and prosperity. Okay. You don't, man, it's something significant about 88. What day is that on? Sunday for 8. Y'all, for those of you who are in faith and flow for finances, we're gonna be talking about this in 88. I'm meeting with y'all on 88, which is Saturday, but more to come on that. Man, look, watch how the Lord finna start blessing the blessings is real. Look, Saturday, my birthday, honey, that's a powerful day. I hope you better speak it. Man, you better speak it into existence. You better speak it into existence. What you want, and don't, again, religiosity people them, don't come over here with that. If you know, you know. The Lord gives us days and times where, man, you can, when I'm talking about really be in the flow, that's one of them. You don't believe me? Keep playing. The Lord start revealing stuff to you. You be like, do it on what day, Lord? Set the intention on what day? You know what? Portals of power. You either understand or you don't. I'm not finna go into that today. Baby, you better sow some kingdom seeds on Saturday. What else, Lord? Ending. Okay, not the not Skeletor. You may leave a position or be terminated. However, there's always a new opportunity ahead. You may change careers entirely. Let me just say this, because not the ancestors. Hey, y'all. Let me say this, somebody. One thing about the Lord creating the ending, man, it'll open you up. It'll open up a door for a blessing and abundance. I'm talking about, you ever, And I talk about, I think I said, maybe I said it today. I don't know. Thank God for the endings that he created in my life. Thank God for the things. Just drop that in the chat. Thank you, Lord. Because, man, I tell you, be grateful. I told the Lord I was supposed to talk about gratitude because I wrote it in my journal this morning. I had to tell the Lord thank you for some stuff that he let end in my life. Because if it wouldn't have ended, I wouldn't have room for this. We be looking at them L's we have to take and be mad. You be mad when you first lose it, don't it? Until you realize that the Lord took it so he could replace it with even more, with even better. When the Lord ends something in your life, say thank you, Lord. Because if you removing it, then you got to know something better coming. But thank you for the something better, Lord. Hindsight 2020, looking back, be like, man, thank God for God. That's them El Fulios we be dating. Thank you, Lord. Love y'all with the love of the Lord. But thank God the Lord removed you out of my life. I'm so grateful for every lesson, every blessing. Thank you. Because wouldn't the Lord bring what's next? What if I had kept on holding on? What? What else, Lord? The name of the Lord is a strong fortress. What else? Here we go. Gifted and transformation. Clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance. And then didn't we talk about a dark night of the soul the other day? You coming out on the other side of this. Endings, 2 cards back to back. Endings and beginnings. I'm talking about, didn't I tell y'all that the Granny Nims was in the building on the day? And my papa. Man, what I'm talking about y'all celebrating, ain't it? We love y'all. We don't thank you. Thank you, child. That's you who look, let me tell somebody this. You know, if you know, you know. You know, every time I feel like, man, I can't do something, I go talk to my mama, right? Oh, this because we finna be talking about media. We talked about this other day. I'm not going into that today. We'll get to it when we get to it, maybe Monday, whatever day. I don't know. And every time I start to feel like I don't know if I can do something or something ain't gonna work out. And I don't know if you got an ancestor spirit name like this, but I do. I do. Because every time I think something ain't gonna work out, you know, the one thing God reminds me is number one, that he always sent an angel before me. And he said it's gonna work out. And he said he was always going to make sure that I had help. So when I start getting in my feelings, mama come in, she have attitude, she be fussing, and she be like, whatever made you think that I was gonna let you fail? Does that make you ever had them? I don't know if that makes sense to somebody. It's like when you start doubting and getting discouraged, God come in and be like, whatever made you think that you were gonna fail? And a lot of times it's because we been had to wait for so long. Anytime I get in my feelings like that, because I do too, I be like, man, I don't need much know how this gonna work out. That's how I felt about these credentials. Been waiting a month of Sundays to hear. I went and did all the things, and then I just had to wait for somebody to say something. And the Lord be like, I already told you this is done. Drop that in the chat. It is done. I don't even know what you waiting on. But if the Lord already said it, sometimes he got to send his ministering spirits, his angels to come remind you that you were destined to succeed. Does that make sense? Anyway, I hope that makes sense for somebody. Like, whenever I get like that in that little funk, my mama be like, girl, shut up. Cause sometimes you need a little tough love. Girl, shut up. It's gonna happen when it's gonna happen. And it's like me having my mama in the spirituals. Man, my mama not finna let nothing happen to me. Divine protection. Do you understand? It's some stuff that you can't do nothing about. Some stuff is out of your control. But one thing I know, God had angels surrounding me. Come on, Aunt Nikki. God had angels. If the Lord allowed me to live in a car for 2.5 years and I was safe, what make you think that protection went anywhere? If he let you go through the pit, the fire, and he was with you in the fire, why would that change right now? I don't know who needed that. You realize that during your transformation is when you the most vulnerable, right? Why would the Lord leave you when and thank you, Lord. Think about Jesus, right? We love you, Lord. Best example we got. He gets baptized, he comes out, and immediately the Spirit leads him into the wilderness. And as soon as he got done being tested and tempted and all the things, the angels immediately attended to him. Where you read at that the angels was never there? Maybe I missed it in my 17 Bibles. Who, huh? The Lord never said they was always there standing on the sidelines anyway. Sometimes the Lord said, don't do nothing. Just like he told them then, don't do nothing. He got to go through this. He got to fight this fight. It's going to strengthen him. Sometimes we be mad. Lord, why are you making me go? Because I need you to be strong enough to handle this if you got to deal with it again. Temptation's going to come. The testing's going to come. But I need you to be strong enough. Angels be right there. Angels be right there on the sidelines just waiting. You get too, come on, 444. You get too far out of line, they be like, come on now. No. Come snatch you by your neck. Make sure you don't get too far off the path. I hope that makes sense to somebody. Life and death, endings. Okay. So is the Lord say I never said I wasn't gonna send help with you. I sent the angels. Come on, grannies, pawpaw, mama. I sent the angels before you. Huh? I sent them, but I sent them before you. Like, I hope that makes sense to somebody. I don't understand how people don't, and maybe because people don't believe, baby, what? Ain't no way I could have got through some stuff if the Lord hadn't gave me some help. Drop it in the chat. I got help. But sometimes your help got to let you do some stuff. If they did everything for you, if the Lord did everything for you, you wouldn't learn. Man, look, come on, transformation. We receive it, Lord. It's a gift. Anyway, what else, Lord? Like, I got help for real. I got help because you don't be knowing what to do. You don't be having no understanding, right? Dogma, doctrine, okay? Religion, I talking about the religiosity, people them, way of life, philosophy. Thank God for having some understanding. You know, some people, and this is for what, because I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, because who gonna check me? The Lord will tell me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna say this for the people in the religiosity, people them. It's some folks right now. I love y'all, but it's some folks now got a whole lot more understanding than you'll ever get. Why? Because they allow the Lord to show them. You realize that it's more people. That's why more people woke right now. When you it's almost like having blinders on. You don't have the ability, so you don't think somebody else does. Just because the Lord don't use you like that, and they're speaking on this card, by the by, giftings, right? If you, how do I say this? Hey, Australia, come on, Australia, child. I'm not coming to visit y'all, but y'all got some beautiful water. Y'all bugs is not from Earth. I don't even think y'all on Earth. Anyway, I'm back. Love you though. Let me say somebody. Many moons ago, I heard somebody say that God doesn't speak in full sentences. That you don't sit up and have this is a long time ago that you don't sit up and have conversations with God like you having coffee with him. And I said, who? Could God talk to me in complete sentences? I go talk to the Lord just like I'm talking to y'all, daddy. Daddy. Hey, is me hey. So who not who? I say, who said that? I said, I hate that for the people them who talking to God and only expecting him to say one word back. Baby, I never would have made it. Never would have made it. I never would have made it. I'm not a singer. I said what I said. Cause what? uh I say what? Daddy, you got to talk to me in complete sentences because I ain't got no huh. I be telling Spirit them all the time. Clarity, please. I ain't got time now. That's how I learned to develop my language with Spirit them. Cause who you finna talk to in riddles? What? No, I ain't gonna be able to do it. And in the beginning, that's how I felt. Now I'll be like, Daddy, speak, Lord. Father, I servant is listening. I'm talking about I need a whole paragraph. Spell it out for me. He said, go read the Bible. Oh, okay. I'm sorry for the people who still think I don't know how they talk to him up there. Cause how I'm gonna make it. Anyway, I'm sorry for y'all who that's your experience and you don't have real conversations. The Lord said Jesus is my friend. Thank you, big bro. Love you. He my friend. What do you go talk to? Do you say one word to your friend? Friend. Okay, well, sometimes we can say one word and that be enough to say. But anyway, baby, you better open your mouth. So I'm sorry to little religiosity people them who feel like the Lord don't speak in complete sentences, baby. I don't know what God y'all talking to who don't want to give you no communication. Because the Lord be talking to me. Child, the Holy Spirit talking about one word. Child, by I'd have moved on. I'd have moved on. Because honey, I'm sorry that's all y'all know of the Lord. Now look, I'm sorry that's all. Am I tripping? Let me get some clarity. Hold on, y'all. I might have to go and find. You just can't make this up. Where's that, y'all? Where I put it at? No, I wouldn't have put it there. Y'all. No, it wasn't that. Where is that, y'all? I don't even much remember. I need these cards. They're important. And I don't know if I left them in the bag that I used on yesterday. And I need this card. These cards. I'm finna go find them. What else I had on yesterday? Hold on, y'all. I had my Bible. This is for it's important. I wouldn't have put them up. Why y'all don't just tell me where they at? Hold on. Did I? I probably did. Oh man. I don't know where I put them at, y'all. I don't remember putting them back, but maybe I did. Let me just tell y'all why this is important and why I'm on the hunt for these cards. Let me look through these one more time because I don't know what I did with them. Psalm 37. We had this card, the sun card. We had the sun that came out just the other day. And I talked about this because whenever the sun comes out, it's always the Lord for me. And so we had the Psalm 37 and 4 card that came out for the Virgo message. And that's the same picture of the sun that I put. I hope I didn't, but I probably put them back in the what's it called? That's the same picture of the sun that just came out on different cards. I tell you what, look, now I'm gonna have to find them and watch me find them as soon as I get done with the message. the Son, the Lord. Okay. The Son, this particular card is your identity. What we've been talking about today. Identity before increase, identity before income. Ain't that been the whole point of Leviticus, y'all? I want to know where these cards are at. Ain't that been the whole thing we were just talking about? You got to know who you are before the Lord sends you into this new territory, into this new beginning, into this new opportunity. It's the identity, knowing who you are before you get there. Okay, I hope that makes sense to somebody. This is, and that's the whole point of the Son, not only the Lord, but it's knowing who you are, whose you are before He sends you into these new environments, into these new territories. You got to know who you are in Christ. That's it. That's all. Man, I can't. I don't. I think I put them back in the box, and I'm so mad at myself that I did. I'm be even more mad if I find them. But you can go watch the Virgo message. You can also go watch the message I posted. This would have been 2 days ago. You can go watch the message I posted, and this card, that card literally came out. And I think we had it earlier this week. I'm not sure which. It was either two. It may have been Monday or Tuesday, because it was literally speaking to the Lord, giving you the desires of your heart. So somebody getting ready to receive something. So you can get ready. Y'all, I'm gonna be looking for these cards for 2 days because I don't know what I did with them. Anyway, what else, Lord? Moving on, because I'm not gonna spend a lot of time there. Man, once you know who you are, that's it. That's all. The wounded warrior, perseverance, committed to the goal. You're at the finish line. So for many of you, what the Lord, this is an encouragement to keep going. Now, I don't know what the Lord what assignment the Lord has you on. Come on the beach. I don't know what it is that He has instructed you to do, but it feels like at the last minute, you may feel, thank y'all, like some exhaustion, right? Because you've been waiting, maybe feel like you're toiling, but this is a confirmation for somebody to just keep going, because you're a lot closer than you think. So if you have felt discouraged, if you have felt like, giving up, and we all get to that point. I told y'all a couple weeks ago, when I didn't know, I was just like, man, I've been waiting. I was like, and I had surrendered it again. The whole nursing thing, y'all, I had surrendered it. And because I was just like, even though I know that that's what the Lord promised, sometimes you just get tired and be like, man, forget it. I don't even, I can do something else. If you're at that stage and at that point, just remember that God promised this to you, and the enemy is trying to exhaust you. And many times it comes right at the point of receiving your promise. I hope that makes sense to somebody. So be mindful of that. For some of you, this may even include like old hurts, old wounds that need to be resolved, or need to, like, that'll resurface. Thank y'all. That will resurface things that you thought you had healed from, but you may end up having to revisit. I think Pam said something about the other day. Thank God for healed trauma. Thank God for healing, right? Thank God for healing, because many of us, we have gone through a stage of healing, and this is like a completion. I hope that makes sense to somebody. This is a completion for someone. So if you find yourself feeling some type of way about stuff that you thought you had gotten over completely, this is the Lord letting you know, like, hey, I'm just burning off the little last remnants of this. The healing is done. I hope that makes sense. We had something not too long ago that was about that as well. Y'all, I feel that in my spirituals. And it's like you're a new person. I hope that makes sense. Don't let nobody try to what? I don't that it made me mad in my nervous system. Don't let nobody try to use, because they showed me the shield, but in the wound, let me just show y'all. It's almost like somebody trying to use your past against you in some way, and it ain't gonna work. Drop that in the chat. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. You can't use my past against me, honey, because it's just that, the past. So somebody might be trying to rehash or bring up message old wounds or something like that. Baby, no, that ain't gonna work. Too much healing for that. What else, Lord? Archangel Michael. You do realize that Archangel Michael is like the commander in chief when it comes to the archangels. They're pointing out again divine protection. Like, maybe I don't know. It's almost like, and I think we talked about this. It's almost like the reinforcements coming in. I don't know how else to explain that. It feels like that you don't even. It's like you got big big help. The Lord getting ready to send in some heavy reinforcements. When Archangel Michael comes through, it's just like, oh, okay. Like this is the commander in chief of all the angels. So they're pointing out angels a lot today, y'all. And it's like it's to understand just how protected this assignment is, like just how much help you actually have for real. So what else, Lord? Because I'm finna go. This it. The father, listen now. Who's what, Lord Daddy? If you if you had just wanted to show up in the message, just say that, okay? Yahweh, Jehovah Jireh, the Messiah, Jesus Christ. He was just out here, by the by, okay? I said when the Lord show up and he just be like, period, period, mint, punctuation, exclamation. I don't, because I feel like when the Lord show up like this, I need to be clarification in this two of wands. But here come the Lord saying, what? Come on, the lion and the lamb. When the Lord show up and he give his confirmation like that, I just be like, ooh, ooh. He said, I sent them. I sent them. This is him saying this not to me, to you. I'm sending you out. This is your assignment. And this is like, I don't know. This is why the Lord say, my word stands. I'm not a man that I should lie. So it's like the Lord is, I don't know who need this confirmation, honey. I don't know. But when the Lord come in and say, like, yeah, all of that, I stand on everything that was said. Does that make sense to somebody? I said what I said. I don't even know. I'm gonna go ahead and pull on this two of wands, but for some of you, this is gonna be in regards to something that the Lord had told you to do, right? Your ministering angels gonna keep on coming through, telling you, come on, you ain't making no mistake. The Lord gave you a step, and He's gonna say, yeah, I told you to do it. Now I want you to do it. Now go do it. I'm fit. This it. Listen now. This it. I ain't got nothing else. Ready or not? Here I come. You can't hide. Shout out, Lauren. The Fugees. Ready or not? Ascension. Leveling up. Stepping into your destiny. Growing in faith. First step. Okay. It's time to go up. Drop that in the chat. Up, please. I don't got nothing else. That's it. That's all. I don't even. What you say? What do you say to the Lord after He just could show up and be like, huh? I heard you was looking for me. Shut up, mystical. Here I go. The man right here. Man, look, somebody tell you right now, you finna unlock some destiny. Why? Because you're gonna take a step. I'm talking about, say it, Brenda, obey. Yes, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Thank you. Y'all know I pray that prayer every day. Archangel Michael, protect me, my family, my children, my community, and their families from all negativity, negative energy, low vibrational energy, sin intentionally or unintentionally from those known and unknown. Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Raphael, the four majors. Yeah, you better get to know your help. People, oh, you worshiping angels. No, I'm not a worship God. God said He will give His angels charge over me. Then I just tell y'all this morning, the Lord gave me Psalm 91:11. He said He will give His angels. Why are we talking about this again? Why we got to go back to what? Oh, that's why y'all was talking about the doctrine card. Because some people ain't never gonna have no understanding. I will look to the hills from whence cometh my help. Like, baby, when the Lord say I got help, I got help. How you believe everything else? It's in the word. Because I feel like it kind of got on my nervous system. Like, why we having this conversation? Maybe somebody just need to know. Let's just flip it. Thank y'all. Flip the perspective. Maybe somebody just needs to know that you got help. And I'm talking about you got help. Like the Lord is dispatching his angels right now. You better open your mouth. What? You better open your mouth. Ascension. Somebody leveling up, honey. The level up is real. Travel, relocation. Some of y'all might be leaving and going somewhere unexpectedly too. So just get ready for that. Baby, this is a blessing. The Lord come in and say, he was like, oh yeah, we on the move. We got stuff to accomplish. We got things. This is a beautiful message. I might have to go back and watch this today because it's literally like the Lord just coming in, giving a confirmation. And not that he doesn't all the time, but sometimes we just talked about identity, and it's immediately he follows that and say, yeah, know who you are. And man, it's a card in the Clarity is Real deck, which happens to be the deck that has most of the angels in it, right? But there's a card that is opposite to this. This one is whose I am, and there's one that says who I am. Just so happened two different decks, because this is the astrology clarity deck, right? But the Lord say who you are and whose you are. Man, look, and we talking about Leviticus 18, where the Lord say, you got to know who you are. I said it's in my notes. I did not make it up. The Lord come through and he confirmation and say, yep, exactly that. Man, when you know who you are, it helps you. When identity is settled, obedience becomes the natural fruit. Man, look, people think it's what you mean obey. Yeah, I am. Yeah, what you say, Lord? Yeah, because you start listening to the Lord, your whole life start changing. Once you know who you are for real. The Lord gave me the word millionaire the other day, but he didn't spell it in the traditional way. He spelled it with the HEIR at the end. And I say, huh? Millionaire. I say, who? I had to Google it, see if some folks can use it. Shout out Tyrese. I think Tyrese got some cologne or something like that called millionaire. But ever since then, the Lord that's all he been calling me. It's like, yeah, you a millionaire. But not in the way it ain't got nothing to do with money. It does, but it don't. Because it's like it's like understanding inheritance. Man, look, you better know who you are. I can't help nobody with identity, but this is why the Lord will solidify your identity before he sends you into Canaan. You live, man. I didn't even, the Lord didn't even tell it to me that way. But him saying, I brought you out of Egypt, put you in the kingdom, and then I send you into Canaan. Why? Why does he teach you the kingdom in the wilderness? Because you got to take the kingdom into Canaan. Man, I hope that makes sense to somebody. I ain't even get that revelation till this morning. That's why the kingdom is in the middle. Man, look, I hope that, man, he'll give you the kingdom. It's almost soon as you come out of Egypt. Let me let you experience the life I want you to live. So when you get to the place I'm sending you, you'll already be living that life. And you'll be an example of that life when you get there. You finna have some other folks coming into the kingdom because they gonna want to know how you, man, I don't know. I just be trying to be obedient, taking one step at a time. I said this to myself the other day. I don't always get it right. Understand, I done messed up a whole lot. But that's how you know you got some get right, because all of a sudden blessings start coming in. And it's blessings you didn't have to wait for. Sometimes years. Long suffering. Is that the word? Long suffering. As a result of losing the nursing license, ultimately it ended me up in homelessness. Now here we are almost 10 years later, and the Lord say, here you go. Man, what? Huh? But it was some long suffering in the mean and in between time. But in that time, you get introduced to the kingdom life, the kingdom laws, the kingdom traditions, the kingdom language. You get the introduction, and the Lord say, you can stay here. It's some requirements to live here. You can't just be doing any old thing now. I need you to get right. Yeah, it's a good life over here, man. I'm staying. Where my mansion at? What the Lord said. The Lord said, in my dad's house is many rooms. Where my room? Rooms be mansions. Man, I'm staying. No, I ain't getting. You gonna have to put me out. What? Some of y'all finna experience blessings like that. The trusting and the believing and knowing that God is gonna do it. I'm telling you, it's finna unlock the door. Where the key? Unlocking this door. People finna start asking you what you did, child. My very best to listen. That's it. That's all. I ain't even doing nothing. Be messing up, getting stuff wrong. Go back, Daddy. I messed up. Help. What to do? My bad, Lord. Kingdom life. Okay. That's it. That's all. That's the message. Lord, I hope this helps somebody. Because let me tell, I need to tell somebody this as well. This is me, right? I wouldn't be me if I was not obedient. If you would like to support in any way, shape, form, or fashion, to send Touche back into nursing, if you would like to donate, I'm probably going to get banned for this. Go to my name and you can donate and support the vision. Because y'all, I'm already doing what I can do. Look, can I just tell this story real quick? Y'all, the first time they put my nursing license on probation many moons ago, this was in 2015. The reason that I got in trouble the first time was because I lost my job when they put me on probation. And because I couldn't pay the fine. It was a $600 fine. And I'll never forget, it was like December of 2015. And the lady I was working with at that time with the board, she was like, well, sometimes people have to go get a job at McDonald's in order to do what you have to do. Now, mind you, this 2015, right? I ain't never been nothing but a nurse. You understand? From 19 years old up until that time, I had never been anything but a nurse. That lady say, work at McDonald's. I say, who? Huh? Oh, I'm not doing that. Pride. One of them things the Lord will teach you about. Pride. Because I could have went and got a job at McDonald's, but I had so much pride, it wouldn't allow me. I'm a nurse. What do you mean work at McDonald's? So guess what I didn't do? I didn't go get a job, and I couldn't find a job. So as a result of me not paying the fine, they suspended my license, and then they ended up reinstating it and put me on restarting my probation for 2 years. Fast forward to 2026. They say you can get the license, but you got to pay this $1,000 fine. Me, y'all know I ain't worked since June 26th. Excuse me, I might need to come back to work. Sometimes the Lord's going to check and make sure if you're still, do you really want what you say you want? Because remember when he sends you into the promised land, he didn't say the manna stops. Do you understand? When he sends you into the promise, you got work to do. So guess who ain't going to make the same decision and mess up the way I did that time? Oh, you say $1,000. Guess what I had to be humble enough to do? Something I don't ever do. Maybe you one of them people that's like me. You don't never ask for help. Hey, y'all, I done created a GoFundMe. I'm in school full time. I'm in a manna season. Sometimes the thing that will keep you from getting your blessing is opening your mouth, because you be so prideful, speaking from experience. Instead of saying, hey, I need help, Lord, if the Lord say, I don't do nothing that the Lord don't tell me to do. Remember, we obedient, right? So if the Lord say, hey, go start a GoFundMe, you realize that even when I was homeless, I didn't have a GoFundMe. When I was living in my car, I ain't never did a GoFundMe in my life. But the Lord say, yeah, hey, put it on the website. Okay. Because sometimes call and see if you can get your job. Do you understand that I called and told my boss, hey, can I come work as a CNA? This what's going on. I got this paperwork right here, and this is what the Lord say, but I need to work now. Sometimes your pride, because yes, the Lord provides. Absolutely. Who is this for? I don't know. But if the Lord tell me to talk to somebody about pride, babe, I'ma do it. Because you won't get me like that. Do I know the Lord provides? I do. But sometimes the way he provides is not the way that you expect. Sometimes you just want the money to show up. No, Lord, if you didn't brought me this far, let me do what I can do. Hey, I need to come, I need to come pick up a shift. That's also the importance of you got to know which bridges to burn and which bridges to keep intact. Because you never know when you got to go back that way. Mind you, this the same job that I had when I lost my nursing license the first time. Listen now, trying to tell somebody. You never know when you got to go back through a door. You never know. Imagine that then I didn't have a choice. In June, I left so I could focus on school. Now the Lord sending me right back through that door. Telling you, this is where the Lord will get your character together. He'll make sure that when you go to work, you do the best job that you can do. You be the best person that you can be. Because you never know when you got to walk back through that door. I hope that makes sense to somebody. Thank God that I've never been a person to just leave, well, now I ain't gonna, well, you know what, you right. Because I done left some folks and been like, oh, I promise I ain't never coming back. It's some folk right now. One in LA, no, meant it. One, where else? That was really the only one. I'm finna go. So I hope that made sense to somebody. You never know. You never know. I've never been to Missouri. Show me. I ain't never been to Missouri, honey one. But the Lord still be showing me. So I hope that helps somebody. Sometimes the least thing that you want to do, which is oftentimes asking for help or utilizing the resources that the Lord will give you, is the thing that is going to save you. And we don't be wanting to hear that because we so used to independent. I can do it. No. If you want to support, by all means, please feel free. And I thank you because I'm gonna go do everything I can. Let me do what I can do. Do your part, and I promise you the Lord is going to meet you halfway. And then he's going to exceed it simply because you were willing. Can we drop that in the chat? I'm willing, Lord. I'm willing. Pride is not an issue, honey. For me, no. Got me like that. Again, sometimes you get put back in the same situation, right? Sometimes the Lord will put you back in the same situation to see if you're going to respond differently this time. I'm not afraid of the $1,000 fine. I said, okay, Lord, this time, if the Lord say, are you humble enough to even go when I can work? Can I, huh? Man, look, do you really want what you say? I'm willing. Yeah. 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 Because guess what? I know the increase is coming. That part's already done. It's that last little check where the Lord say, okay, let me see. Let me just make sure. I'm pretty sure I know you, but let me just make sure you okay. So if my schedule, telling you right now, it's been a blessing. This is my dream. But if one day a week, I ain't gonna be able to be on here 2 hours. I got to go to work. Y'all remember a couple months ago for a whole year? It's like, okay, y'all, we got 45 minutes. We got to wrap this up. It's a wrap. Got to go. Because what? I got to go do what the Lord tell me to do. So if you that person who, and I'm not talking about, and sometimes even the test, y'all, you got to ask somebody for help, and the Lord will tell you to ask somebody he already is gonna say no. That be what's hard. He'll have you ask, and sometimes it hurts your feelings, but he'll have you ask. It's like Pharaoh again, and he already determined that he wants them to say no. People don't want to hear that, but it's gonna hurt your feelings because you're gonna be like, why wouldn't they help me? Like, why wouldn't you help me? A lot of times it's family, right? Because you would expect the help to come from there, but it's designed by the Lord for them to say no because it's gonna teach you something. But yeah, sometimes that's that hurt for real. He gonna make them say no so that you will understand that you're not to depend on man. You have to depend on him because he's gonna make a way. Again, we had the card that just said it don't always look the way you thought. But if you're willing, message, the Lord's gonna make a way. He's gonna make a way. Are you willing to really do you really want to receive what God's trying to give you? We're going into Canaan. We almost there, right? We're almost there. So I hope that makes sense to somebody. That's it. That's all. That's the message. Lord, I hope this helps somebody. Thank y'all so much for the likes, the shares, the comments, the subscribes, the love, the energy. I'm so truly, truly grateful. It's time to get to the next part of the work. I halfway don't know what to do with myself. I passed my classes, y'all, my 3 classes. I understand even why the Lord had me set out for this last month and a half, because it's only been about, since June 26th, because school gonna keep going. Do you understand, man? Do you understand that sometimes the Lord will give you time to sit down so you can organize your life? Because when he gets ready to bring in, we talk about seasons of rest and season of running, right? So imagine the Lord tells me to quit my job, but now I'm full time in school. So he gave me all this time to organize myself. Man, this is why I be telling, just trying to explain stuff to folks. He gave me this time to sit down, organize myself, know how I was going to operate because I'm still in school. Okay. But now he finna get ready to add working back in. But he had to, that's why he'll tell you, you got to get your scheduling together. There's some things that you're gonna have to be like, nope, this is what my schedule is. You have to commit to it, you got to get it together, because when he adds something else, it's certain things that already have to be in place. So he gave me 3 classes, which is what I'm gonna have for till 2029. 3 classes. That's what this your workload. This what you're gonna be required to do. Work around it. Now he getting ready to add, because I have to work. When I get reinstated, y'all, it's not optional. I have to work. So he say, go and get your schedule together, because I'm getting ready to add. Man, look, that's why he has to increase your capacity. I hope that makes sense. Y'all give a congratulations to Miss Succulent. Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I'm great. I'm grateful. Y'all say congratulations to Miss Succulent, who's pinning ceremony. Shout out to the nurses. We the real MVPs. Congratulations to you, honey bunny. Welcome. Welcome to the healthcare world, honey bunny. We appreciate you. We are so happy and so grateful to have you, honey bunny. You got this. I'm so proud, man. I'll be so grateful. I'll be so glad to see folks winning. Because let me tell you something, nursing school ain't easy, honey. Nursing, healthcare. Shout out to my CNAs in the building. Y'all the real MVPs. And I said what I said. Guess who could say that? Touche the CNA. Touche bars? Because I know the work be working now. I done been a CNA, LPN, RN. Can't nobody tell me. Listen now. Shout out to my CNAs. Y'all the real MVPs. Because if you don't, your baby hunt, what? The work be working. Okay. I'm college. Nurses were the only majors who studied in groups. Man, look, you got to have some study partners in college. In nursing school, you almost can't do it by yourself. Thanks. Shout out to the people I went to nurse. I went to nursing school twice, y'all. Got my LPN, then my RN. And so in LPN school, we had to team up. In RN school, we had to team up because I don't even think we would have made it if we didn't. And some folks didn't make it. We didn't all make it together. I'm grateful. I only took 85 questions, which is the minimum for my LPN, and I took 75 questions for my RN, which was the minimum for that. But I shout out to the folks that I was studying with. I did a lot of self-study, but I did a lot of most study with because we had to, man, because then I don't know what they do. Man, I can't even imagine what y'all got to do right now. Back then when I went, man, I mean, wait a minute. First of all, why y'all trying to handle me about how old I am? I am antique-ish. I ain't anyway, I'm back. Back then, they was trying to teach us critical thinking. And then what was crazy, because they went to teaching us about critical thinking. So when you went into, not me, but I know a lot of people who went into taking boards, and they were overthinking the problems. And so they ended up failing because they were overthinking. Because in nursing school, they taught us to overthink. They literally was be like, what does the A stand for in ABCDs? And they were trying to analyze it instead of it just being airway, right? And so, but we had been taught to overthink, critical thinking. And so people were missing basic questions, y'all, because we were taught to overthink. Nursing school ain't no hoe. I said it, meant it. Nursing school ain't no play. So shout out, I can't even imagine what they teaching y'all now. Thank you, Lord, because I ain't going back. Who? No, I ain't gonna be able to do it. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I can't even imagine trying to get through nursing school right now because now it's so much more. I can't even imagine being a med surg nurse again. Med surg, who? No, no. I did my 20 years in the hospital, honey. I'm good on it now. For those of y'all who ain't never had no nursing experience and stuff, get you some med surg experience. And shout out to y'all, because I'm not set up to be a floor nurse anymore. I did my 20. Not drop and give me 20. Oh, not that. That ain't even the song. You was right. Anyway, I'm back. No. Look, Chris Curl say I work for the nursing department. Shall by at a community college bring the skills lab, running the skills lab. Listen. I can't even imagine. Now I can start an IV now. I was a pro at that. I can do that. I got all the skills check. But the stuff they be having, no, I ain't gonna be able to do it. You have to know your strengths. And that ain't my season. But for my new grad nurses, Miss Succulent, get you some hospital nursing experience. Okay. I promise you it is going to benefit you down the road. Get you some experience down the road because those skills are so valuable. And in certain environment, in certain atmospheres, certain places that you're going to work, you will not get those skills. Okay. You need to go start IVs. You need to know how to do Foley catheters. You need to know how to do the basic skills. You need to know how to draw blood. And it's cool to learn on mannequins. It's a whole different thing in real life. It's so different. It's different. Okay. So if I could tell it, and I used to train a lot of nurses, y'all. So if you are a new grad, please get you some med surge experience. A lot of people want to go straight to ICU, baby. Go get in the trenches. You got to learn. Okay. You got to learn. So people don't want to hear that. You want to go straight into specialties, and that's cool. But if you ever decide to do, some people get in their specialty and stay there for life. I know what kind of nurse I'm designed to be. I'm not but my med surge benefited me. So get you a couple of years in the hospital. Yes, it's hard work. Yes, but you have to learn. It's going to be so beneficial down the line, especially, folks be like to go traveling and stuff. If you want to do that, that resume gonna look good. Get you some telemetry experience. Just putting that out there. If anybody learn ER, I love the ER. I did actually like the ER. So get you some experience, honey, because it's gonna benefit you down the line. And when you finally decide that you're not ready, or if you ever get to that point, some people are med surge for life. I'm not one of them, but it'll be beneficial. Message. Okay. Um, child, listen. Whew, that's it, y'all. Y'all, I have a call today to kind of finalize the details to see um what's the what, right? Yes, drawing blood correctly, please. Well, let me just say, well, because Jared just said drawing blood correctly, please. So many people miss my veins and I got bruises. Let me say this. That was something that I enjoyed. I enjoyed drawing blood. I enjoyed IVs. But let me say this to people who ain't in healthcare. It's not as easy as it looks. You either a good stick or you not. I don't know how else to say that. It ain't for everybody. Right? So I have been stuck by people and missed. And I'd be like, you ain't see that vein sitting right there. You can't miss it. Like like how you miss. And then I'd be like, get somebody else to do it. Now I'm me. If you look nervous, then you finna no, baby. Now I'm not opposed to allowing a new nurse to stick me. Why? Because I was a new nurse at one time, right? So I had to learn. And some people, because of those kinds of experiences, they don't want you to stick them because they be like, you don't know what you're doing. And some people have trauma as a result of that. But I also know that it is a skill that has to be developed. And imagine, so I can advocate on both sides. You get one stick, and if you don't get it, that's it. No, go get somebody else. And I stand on that. No, no. Mm-mm. But at the same time, I've been that nurse who was before I knew what I was doing. I was like, okay, you try to be confident, but it's still kind of scary, especially if you look and you see somebody and you can tell they nervous. You be like, Lord, please let me get it. And sometimes you just don't. Sometimes somebody's dehydrated. It be like that. But yeah, I'm a one stick. Like, oh, you get one shot. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. Meant it. Cause yeah, I'm particular about that. I don't like to stick people more than one time. If I ain't doing all that now. I'll get somebody else to do it because it would just be like that. Sometimes you have an off day. Sometimes you can't, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's just me. But I feel that you get one shot. One shot. So that's it. That's all. Thank you, dearest one. Good morning, Gifted. Good morning, Cornell. If I ain't speak to y'all. That's all, y'all. I got about an hour before I find out what the details are. Y'all pray for me. That's it. That's all. Pray for me. Because we're gonna find out. Either I'll know to know or not to know or not to know. I'll know something by the end of this day, exactly what direction we headed in. So y'all pray for me, child, because I'm finna get some clarification. So thank y'all so much for the likes, the shares, the comments, the subscribes. I love the energy. I probably already said it. I'm so truly grateful. I appreciate y'all. Y'all go do great and be great and amazing. Do great and amazing things. It's time to get to the next part of the work. Oh, that's how I started because I don't know what to do with myself since I'm out of school and I passed my classes. All A's in this thing. Meant it. Best class was statistics. Did I tell y'all that? I made 100 in statistics. Period. Yeah, that marketing tried to take me on now. I made it though. I made it. But I did end up with all A's this semester. I don't know who I don't even want to look at. I think I got microeconomics coming up. What I got? Microeconomics. I got an intro to business class. Oh Lord. Y'all, I got an accounting class. Somebody help. I think I got let me just tell you, better know. financial accounting principles or so, I don't know, something. Lord help. Just help me, Lord. Just go on, help me now. Because I don't even know what this finna be about. But anyway, that's it. That's all. Y'all pray for me. On multiple levels. Child, I got too much. It's too much. I will see y'all on tomorrow, 6 a.m. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Look, y'all, I ain't even gonna be done with school till 2029. Anyway, I can't believe it. Okay, I'm back. I'm still processing it. Just work with me. I will see y'all on tomorrow. Business info will help you for life. This page is a business. Listen, so look, come on, the Lord's lasagna. Let me just told you the truth.com. And I don't know if I told y'all this. I can tell y'all now because I'm done with the marketing class. Well, I think I mentioned this. Let me tell you how I know the Lord be strategic. Because the classes that I'm taking, I'm immediately able to implement in my businesses, marketing stuff, different stuff that y'all, whether you might have paid attention, might not have, different stuff. It was like I would learn something in the marketing class. That's how I ended up with new packaging for Touche Cosmetics. It was like, okay, I need to change that up. Okay, I need to, okay, like that's the way the Lord, man, he's so good. That's how he said he designed this for me, to where it's like I learned something and I can immediately implement it. Child, pay attention how the Lord be leading and guiding and directing you. Because I say, well, wait a minute, I can do this in Touche Cosmetics, or wait a minute, I can do this on the message. That's how I ended up creating the Kingdom Clarity newsletter, because it's all about distribution channels. Man, look, the kingdom is the mission, right? The kingdom is the message. How many ways can I get marketing? How many ways can I get the kingdom to the people? Hence the Kingdom Clarity newsletter coming. New packaging for Touche Cosmetics. All it, man, look, the Lord got a plan for your life now. Trying to told you that's where all of this came from, y'all. But it took for him to give me time to really focus in and work on it. And then I was like, okay. So that's what made me be like, okay, instead of it just being like I'm studying or I'm just learning the material just to know to learn it, and I ain't gonna hold you that history class, but I even learned stuff in that as well. Statistics, even it was just like, okay, I'm knowing this because I got to know it. But when I changed my perspective and started looking at it like, how can I apply this right now? It started changing. And I started at first, marketing was like, I can't stand this. I don't want to do another marketing plan. Lord, just let me get through the class. To, okay, what did I learn from this and how can I go implement it? It'll change the way it'll change if you do it right then. It's taking action. Anyway, I hope that helps somebody. I see y'all on tomorrow. So that really happened for me, honey. I can't even, child, I don't even know what this business class finna be, but I know it's gonna help. It'll be amazing to see some of the things that I've already done, because the marketing class was teaching me business as well. Because again, y'all, you got to remember, I'm starting from the bottom. Ain't have no business mentors, nobody telling me to do this, that, and the third. Now, this is me learning from scratch. But things that I learned in the marketing class, it was like, oh, okay, I need to get a county license. I need a city license. Like I had to get all my credentials together, LLC, which I had that before. But all these things, man, look, business email, y'all, the Lord be working. When I say all the way legit, business check-in, separate that from your personal finances. Man, look, the Lord has to have me doing stuff, and I transfer this entity from this place to this place, y'all. When I told y'all, I was just like, man, the Lord, it's a lot going on. It's a lot on top of trying to do the nursing stuff. Anyway, that's it. That's all. Let me get ready for this call that I got. Y'all pray for me. We'll have some updates on tomorrow and see how we moving forward from that. Thank y'all for the congratulations. I love y'all in real life. Y'all go hydrate your soul. Drink your water. Say your gratitude. Have a fantastic and an amazing Thursday. It's still Thursday. I will see y'all on tomorrow, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time for the message. I love y'all in real life. I'll see y'all on tomorrow. Okay, y'all. This it. Here we go. I love y'all in real life. I see. Oh, y'all was finna get that background. Let me maximize y'all. I will see y'all on tomorrow. Deuces, y'all. Love y'all in real life. Bye, y'all.